I'm going to tell you what you missed if you didn't see the Democratic debates. And even if you did see them, I'm going to tell you some things probably that you may not have paid much attention to. First of all, for the record, guys, this was the worst Democratic debate I've seen so far. Yeah, it was pretty bad, Johnson. Wall to wall arguing. The moderators sucked. They didn't follow up. They didn't ask follow-up questions. They didn't hold their ground. People were talking over each other. That was all in the first 5 minutes. Yeah, everybody was attacking Bernie Sanders. So obviously Bernie Sanders is the front runner. And which was okay in our understanding because, yeah, he is the front runner. But the bottom line was it got so much crossfire, sometimes it was hard to know who was saying what was relevant, whose turn it was to talk. It just got crazy. So that's what the experience was like. That's what it was live, okay? But there were some key points that were made, all right? It started off with Bernie Sanders going in on Bloomberg because the question was about how are you going to run against Donald Trump when he has an economy that's doing well? They just set this up for Bernie Sanders, right? That was his question. I don't know why they asked Bernie this because you know Bernie. Bernie first, Bernie directly went at Bloomberg and said, well, it's doing well for who? Billionaires like Bloomberg? Bloomberg sat over there all pissed off. And then Bernie went through his list of, the issues that he has with Wall Street and how Wall Street looks like it's doing well, but Main Street's not doing so well. And how workers aren't making more money, just the investors. So Bloomberg went out and he got an opportunity to respond to Bernie Sanders' accusations as a retort. And his retort was a bunch of smears a la Russia. Russia, they want Donald Trump to be president, so they must want Bernie Sanders to win because they know that you'll lose to Donald Trump. That way they get to keep Donald Trump as president. You are horrible, Bernie Sanders. It was lame. And there's something that I noticed right off the bat. Because this was a horrible answer to a question about the economy. It was like, how are you going to run against Trump's economy? And Bloomberg's response was Russia. So this was something that his team prepared him to say. Come on, man. This doesn't even make sense. It's not even in the realm of what we're talking about. Unless he's suggesting that Trump is controlled by Russians and Bernie is controlled by Russians. So it's all a conspiracy to get Trump reelected. I mean, this is the mind of a loony centrist or whatever you call people, right? Also notice that there was a lot of applause for such a horrible response. So that's what told me. It's like, you know what? Michael Bloomberg has a lot of people in this audience because the price of the tickets were from $1,700 to $3,000 a piece. And later on in the show, Michael Bloomberg says, I'm endorsed by 10 blacks, lots of 100 black politicians, many of which are here today as my guest. I'm sure they are, Johnson. That's why I keep hearing these fools yell out stupid shit when you make horrible comments, hearing them clap at the worst responses. And this continued all night, okay? Bloomberg needed to have a good night because he had such a horrible night the other night. And the only thing worse than some of Bloomberg's answers and responses were when he tried to be clever. Bloomberg is not a human being. He's not a person that walks around like the rest of us. I mean, he's carried by slaves who fan him and feed him grapes, massage his back. They literally feed him grapes, literally. They would chew them for him, but I used to have that practice done for me where they would chew my food because I don't want to risk being poisoned. But it got a little soggy when they would spit it into my mouth. That's disgusting. That's disgusting, Justin. He would never allow that. He's not going to let peasants chew his food, Tim Black. You're gone too far. You're gone too far. Okay. Elizabeth Warren came to play. Someone gave her the memo that she couldn't just hide behind Bernie or stay by Bernie. She has to go out there and make her own case. So she proceeded to throw Bernie under the bus while attacking Bloomberg. Yeah, she did that a couple of times, man. Now, actually, look, she said that she would be a better president than Bernie Sanders. Now, I don't know about that. She said her reasoning was she knows how to get stuff done and she knows more about the details. She's going to be better able to work with people to get the legislation done and passed. And I was thinking, yeah, I'm sure you would work to get it done. Like water it down to get it done. You know, isn't that what we all think, though? Yeah, Warren, you'd be better if better means you be nicer with the establishment. We don't want nice. Don't be so nice. Don't be so nice. No, don't be so nice. And that's what we get. When Warren's saying she's going to work better with the establishment than Bernie Sanders, that's all I'm hearing. I'm hearing, listen here, buddy. Oh, yeah. I'm willing to work with the establishment to get things done. We could go in the back rooms and we could solve all our problems. Yeah. You know, there are times when you gotta compromise. And it'd be like, Elizabeth Warren, you're compromising on everything. Yeah, well, I'm getting stuff done. What are you doing? I'm fighting. This is how I fight. By caving in and giving them what they want, and us not getting much in return. It's still a win. Amy Klobuchar was horrible. I just wanted to say that before I forgot. She was, throughout the course of tonight's debate, all I kept thinking was, will someone tell Amy that it's over? It's got to be somebody she can't throw a stapler at, someone she won't make eat food with a comb, like someone that can tell her, like, look, you had a good run, but we can't listen to no more of your stupid stories. We just can't. We won't subject ourselves to it any longer. This is over for you. Over. It's done. Yeah, I found no upswings, no bright moments for Amy Klobuchar the entire night. You know, sometimes she would try to make a point or a joke here or there, long story, give us ear fatigue, talk to us until we were blue in the eyes or our eyes would gloss over, we'd fall asleep, we wake up, she'd still be talking. You know, and the entire night, guys, the entire night of this debate, Amy Klobuchar looked like a deer in headlights. I don't know. It's nothing personal. It's just her time to go. I wish it was Pete Buttigieg's time to go, because Pete Buttigieg he says nothing. I've been feeling this way about Pete almost from the beginning. I mean, if you don't listen to what he's saying, you might be impressed because it sounds very cordial. It has the veneer of being honest. But if you listen closely, a lot of times he's not saying a whole lot. Not unless he's attacking Bernie's Medicare for All plan, which he did several times tonight. How many times can you say his plan costs too much? It shouldn't be all or nothing. It shouldn't be his way or the highway. You know, we need to all work together in order to solve the big problems, the problems that are facing all of Americans. And we can't get there with a socialist who's going to be battling Donald Trump. I mean, maybe we should have a real Democrat run against Donald Trump instead of a billionaire who was a Republican and an independent who's a socialist. I don't understand. And I'm like, won't we have you leave now? I mean, seriously, Pete, you can't win with the blacks. You're horrible. Speaking of the blacks, Michael Bloomberg got called out a couple of times. And it was like Elizabeth Warren went to the trough 1 too many times about Bloomberg with the racist thing. And look, don't get me wrong, like his stop and frisk policies are horrible. But you already kind of shot your money shot on this. Like, you did that last debate. But she went back again, and she did well, but then she tried to up the ante, something about an abortion. Ooh, it's weird. There's this article out there that a woman says, or made the allegation, that she had a relationship with Michael Bloomberg. She worked for Michael Bloomberg, and then she told Michael Bloomberg, hey, I'm pregnant with your baby. And Michael Bloomberg looked her in the eye and he said, kill it. The entire room went, there, man, they froze her out. Elizabeth Warren was like, I can't believe it. She was like, we just want to know the truth. The truth. We got to have the truth. There are people out there that want to know. Get her off the NDAs. Let's find out. And the whole room was still boo, boo. She was like, okay, too soon? Too soon? Because they didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear Elizabeth Warren turn down Michael Bloomberg. Because obviously, these were dead ringers for Michael Bloomberg in the audience. Well, someone who really needed the night to go well was Joe Biden. Yeah, if anybody was in a do-or-die situation, it was Joseph Biden, okay? No one else had more riding on it. No one else has more riding on South Carolina. Hell, if Bernie does 1 or 2, it doesn't, well, it matters. I want him to do number 1. And I think he can beat Biden in South Carolina. But I know he's going to come out with more delegates than Biden. Biden's never going to catch Bernie in the delegate department. So, but Biden needs this. I mean, he needs this like oxygen. If he doesn't get this, he's done. He's over. Cancel Christmas. And Biden acted like he was behaving like someone who needs a win because he was throwing everything at Bernie. I mean, Bernie was ducking punches, ducking. Whoa, whoa, hey, ooh, hey, ooh. And Biden was very, very aggressive, more aggressive than Biden's ever been because he has nothing to lose because if he doesn't do well in South Carolina, he can no longer make the argument that he's electable. He's rejectable is the argument that he would actually be making at that point. There was one point of this that got really weird. It was like we had a bunch of white guys, except for Bernie. Bernie was the only one who wasn't trying to out-black one another. Yeah, even Pete was trying to pander to the blacks. We got Steyer pandering to the blacks and Bloomberg pandering to black people. I give them jobs. I give them job training. I try to help them extend their life cycles. You know, I'm like, God, this guy's disgusting. Then Michael Bloomberg's like, I think it was Biden. No, Steyer. Steyer was talking about reparations. Tom Steyer, he really loves black people, but he has nothing specific. He's like, and I support reparations. I'm with Bernie in spirit, but I don't like his methods. And I'm the only one on this stage who supports reparations. It's like, okay. What does that mean, Steyer? Gail didn't ask a follow-up or nothing. She did. Like, in what way? We mean you support reparations. What does that even mean? Well, check this out. You're freezing, you're in a room, and it's 43, it's below freezing, you're in a room with no shirt on, no coat on, no jacket. And I go, I say, hey, I open the door, I look at the room, and you're like, hey, man, it's freezing. I'm like, well, I support you getting out of this room. You're like, are you going to help me out? No. Are you going to cut the heat on? No. Are you going to give me a coat? Hell no. Slam. That's Tom Steyer's idea of supporting reparations. I mean, what good is it that you support reparations if there's nothing to go with it? I support this study. What he supports is H.R. 40, the investigation, right? The group to get together to study, the study of reparations, how it would work. That doesn't mean anything. It's real easy to say when you're not even in government. Then at that point, it was like everybody jumped in like, Bloomberg's like, I'm blacker than Tom Steyer. I know some black people, and I know how hard it is for them to be who they are. It's hard for them, the people I know some black people who, if they were black, they'd be a lot further in life. I know it's tougher. And the whole time I'm listening to him, like, okay, if that's true, why'd you have so much stop and frisk only focus on black people? Why didn't you help more black people when you were, mayor of New York? Why did your idea of helping these people who you say have it worse because they're black, why was your only solution to throw them in jail? Why not more programs that actually focus on them? And it was amazing because everybody kept talking about these programs. Steyer talked about a program. Biden talked about doubling the amount of money given to help people start businesses. And Bloomberg talked about helping. And I'm like, okay, none of their programs were directed at black people. Now, all of their programs are directed towards everybody. Biden kept talking about all this money, doubling the money for investment in small businesses. But it wasn't just to black people. It was to everyone. So yeah, black people are struggling. They're behind. And the way we help them is we help everybody, and they'll get help too. Because we're going to help all of these people over here. Look, if you got a plan that's going to help everybody, you can't just say it helps black people if it helps everybody. And you can't just say minority, because there are a lot of minorities. Asians, Latinos, women, even white women are considered minorities. You do not know that, right? And who are most white women married to? White men. So this happened all night. It was disgusting. It was like pandering to the highest order, because it's in South Carolina. Oh, and did I tell you this was also CBS/Congressional Black Caucus? Yeah. So you got Bakari Sellers and others there rooting for Bloomberg and Biden. It was horrific. It was horrific. There was one part. Bernie Sanders did have a rough part with guns, because they want to blame Bernie for the Emmanuel Baptist shooting. Dylan Roof shooting that killed 9 black people unarmed in the church. They blame Bernie because 30 years ago he didn't vote for a bill to ban weapons, or something about a waiting period for weapons 30 years ago. So a shooting that occurred 5 years ago is Bernie's fault for a bill he didn't sign 30 years ago. But they're not being disingenuous at all. Nah, they're being completely fair, Johnson. So he had to admit, like, look, hey, I wouldn't do that today. I made a mistake. I screwed up. Just so like Biden, he voted for the Iraq War. They weren't hearing it. They would not hear it. It's your fault those parishioners were gunned down by their white supremacists. Because because you can show everything. So, but there was but Bernie had a couple standout moments. He talked about his marijuana, want to legalize marijuana, and everybody wants to legalize, well, not everybody. Bloomberg's actually pissed that marijuana's legal where it is legal already. He's like, well, it's already legal, so you can't roll it back. Yeah. But we shouldn't go any further. We need to move very slowly, because I'm an old rich bastard who has friends who make a lot of money selling vodka. We don't want to step on their market share. At least that's what I hear when I hear him talking. All right? What else? Oh, Bernie talked about marijuana legalization, also expungement of records, and something that I love, which is making incentives for black folks and Latino folks to be able to start businesses in the new marijuana industry, because there's a lot of money to be made, and yeah, black people should get a share of that. You can't have people locked up in jail for 20 years in this city and in this state and that state, people making millions and millions of dollars off the same stuff you're in jail for. So, yeah, let's expunge records and let's give people the opportunity to sell weed legally. And some of those people should have a little bit of color in their skin. How about that? A little different. But anyway, let's just be fair. And of course, they had the same old Medicare for all arguments. Bernie had to deal with that. And a lot of incoming fire to Bernie, to the point where Bernie's like, wow, tonight is different. Everyone knows my name. Everyone's calling me. Everyone. It was attacking him every which way. But at the end of the day, here we go. Here goes what I have for you guys. There was some losers. There was a couple of winners. And there was some people that need to get gone. Okay? A loser tonight. One of the losers was Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a loser. Now, it wasn't that he did terrible. He didn't do terrible. He didn't even do badly. It's just that he didn't do fantastic, and he didn't knock Bernie out. See, Joe Biden needs to score a knockout. Okay? So all eyes are on him. He was a presumptive nominee going into all of this, and look how far he's fallen. So it was on him to do exceptionally well. He did all right. That's not exceptionally well. That's all right. He needed to knock Bernie out. He did not knock Bernie out. So Bernie is a winner because Bernie had everybody on stage coming for him, and no one knocked him out. One glove was laid on him, and then he was like, hey, you know what? I made a bad vote. And then they had to shut up because what you going to do? So Bernie's a winner. Biden's a loser. A goner. Here goes a goner. Amy Klobuchar. Yeah, Amy Klobuchar is over. I think Amy's about a wrap. You know, guys, look, it's not personal. It's not because she's a bad person. Yeah, it is. It's because she's a prosecutor or was a prosecutor. I can't support cops. And she didn't do well. And it's old. It's tired. Her stories suck. I got to hear about it out in the snow one more time or her dad's alcohol problem. That's it, you know? Tom Steyer can go as well. Yeah, Tom and Amy can go. This lucky leprechaun-looking motherfucker needs to go. Yeah, he needs to go, Johnson. He needs to leave. I mean, first of all, I didn't know Tom owned private prisons where people died, where people were getting hog-tied. That's what Biden said tonight. Tom Steyer's talking like he's a friend. Tom Steyer's talking like he's a friend of black people. You know? First things first, Tom Steyer, this guy, he was a friend in the private prison industry. And he was here, he had and he knew it when he bought the shares of the stock that these people were, and the people were dying in the prisons. That's Tom Steyer. That's what he was doing. And I'm not going to be nice no more. I'm not going to play. I'm like, Jesus Christ. That's you being nice? I'm like, I'm being nice right now. I'm not going to be nice anymore. That's it. Tom Steyer, he's a dog. He's a scumbag. And he killed people in his prisons with his bare hands. He slayed them. He put them down like dogs, like beasts. I was like, okay. So Tom Steyer got outed today. Tom Steyer said that Biden was lying, but it kind of stuck. It kind of stuck. I would have to say that Bloomberg is also a loser. Now, he didn't do as bad as he did the other night, but short of peeing himself and falling out on stage, I mean, he couldn't do any worse. He was still bad, Johnson. There was no real upside to Bloomberg. He had people in the audience, and if you were listening, like some people are influenced by the audience. Not me. Nah, I ignored them. I listened to what was said, and I listened to responses. And half the time, Bloomberg wasn't even responding to questions. He just talked about what he wanted to talk about. And that's not going to work. And there was one part where Warren called him out so ferociously. It was something that was so embarrassing for Michael Bloomberg that Bloomberg started invoking 9/11. Yeah, he started bringing up 9/11. I'm like, dude, what are you, Giuliani? This guy's bringing up 9/11 out of the blue to try to insulate himself from the onslaught, which is Elizabeth Warren. Michael Bloomberg, if you can't out-debate Elizabeth Warren, if you can't out-debate Donald Trump, you are an accident waiting to happen. I know you have more money than Trump, but you're not going to be able to beat Trump, okay? You, right now, are just in the way. That's it. That's all. So there you have it, folks. That's my wrap-up. Winners and losers. Bernie won. Biden lost because he didn't knock out Bernie. Tom Steyer and Amy Klobuchar need to leave. Losers, Amy Klobuchar, Bloomberg. Elizabeth Warren did okay. She did okay. So doing okay makes you a winner, right? Yeah, okay. 2 winners, Bernie and Elizabeth. That's it, guys. Subscribe to this channel. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack by going to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. And I'll see you on the next live stream.